Thank you. Mr Gaz-Davis.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Mrs Ghani. It's a great pleasure to speak in this debate, and I congratulate my honourable friend for bringing it. I won't repeat some of the statistics about how critical SMEs are to our national economy, but I will just point out that behind every business is somebody who had an idea, who stuck it out, saw it through, made it happen. And as the son of a small businessman, I know exactly how hard it is. And so it is right that we have this debate about how we support them to tackle one of the great challenges of our generation. This debate, of course, is about the support for SMEs and our net zero targets. And I don't think it's controversial to say that SMEs are both a cause and a potential solution to climate change. The Federation of Small Businesses have said that around 16 to 18% of emissions are caused by SMEs, but also, given their might, they are also a huge potential solution for us to meet those targets that we've set down in legislation, and we should be proud of that fact too. But it is the role that they have in our communities, the knock-on impact on their customers and people that interact with them, that can also be really impactful. But also, climate change is a risk and an opportunity for SMEs. A lot of, as quite rightly the honourable gentleman pointed out, when surveyed, SMEs state that they believe climate change is a significant risk, whether that's supply chain risk or extreme weather or whatever it is. They believe that climate change is a risk to their business. But it is also a huge opportunity for SMEs in our country to show great innovation and to capture the opportunity of a changing climate. And we should encourage that and embrace that, Madam Chair. But clearly, as my honourable friend from Thirsk and Malton has quite rightly pointed out, a lot of this comes down to money and financing. And it is clear that in our country, we do have a financing gap for SMEs. Only 30% of SMEs actually do use external capital and financing, and a lot more would like to use it, but aren't able to. And I understand that the National Audit Office have stated that there is a £22 billion financing gap for SMEs, although it's a couple of years out of date. So what do we do about this, Madam Chair? What do we do about the fact that SMEs need to get ready for climate change, to mitigate the risk of climate change, but to capture the opportunities of it? And how do we fix that financing gap? Well, I have two potential solutions for you today. First of all, I applaud the work of the British Business Bank. It is a great innovation as a financial institution. It's working with 98,000 businesses in our country. It's got £8 billion of financing, and it has proven its worth through this coronavirus crisis. So I believe that it should have more money. This government has shown in its latest innovation for meeting our net zero targets that it is willing to now hypothecate our gilt markets with a green gilt. And what a good idea that was, Madam Chair. But we could use the use of proceeds from that green gilt to help finance the British Business Bank to hypothecate its funding to help SMEs to prepare for climate change and our net zero targets, but also to help them innovate and capture the opportunity. And secondly and finally, as my right honourable friend has so eloquently put, it is right that we now look to a British Development Bank. Roll in CDC as our international finance arm, roll in British Business Bank, create a huge balance sheet from which we can issue bonds that will target not only regionally, but SMEs to help them meet the challenges of tomorrow and finance for a future which is net zero. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr Scott Mann.